We are all story makers of our own lives. We create our own narratives, goals, success, and failure. Our stories have a start, but it also has endless possibilities of remolding it at any given point of time. But what influences our decision? Over the years, at Cubic, along with working with brands, we have also been exposed to accomplished individuals and their stories. And if we look for one common point, it is the belief in themselves that makes them successful. In the Story Makers Uncubed series, we speak to individuals from diverse backgrounds, lawyers, sportsmen, mythologists, entrepreneurs, and look into their narratives of their stories and the grit behind it. First of the many, we speak to Devdutt Pattanaik, a mythologist and a motivational speaker who single-handedly has brought back the love of mythology into many of our lives. With him, we go back in time and explore the definition of success and failure. We also speak to him about a very important topic, women empowerment and the history of it.
Devdutt, thank you for giving us your time. One of the questions that I'd like to ask is, we work a lot with entrepreneurs at Cubic. And when they start a business, they are giving up stability for uncertainty. Do they follow their Dharma, which is looking after their responsibilities, or do they follow their dreams and their karma and move towards a startup which has so much of uncertainty? What do you think about this?
See, when you're getting into business, ultimately business is about providing goods and services to the market. Let's first clarify that. Many businessmen don't know what business is. It's not extraction. You're not extracting wealth from the market. You are giving goods and services in exchange for which you are getting a reward. In order to make you do that, you have a whole bunch of people who work with you. And every one of them is giving you something in order to get something. Now, once you're aware of this transaction, which is there at every level of your interaction, you start thinking Dharma. And that's what Dharma is about. Am I, is the input and output matched? And when you're hiring people in a startup, you are telling them that, we'll work long hours, and that is why you get that higher salary, because we don't know where we are going. It's a new journey. The ship is in the middle of the ocean. We don't know if there will be storms. And so people joining you right at the beginning know what to expect. It's not a stable ecosystem. It's an unstable ecosystem. And in an unstable ecosystem, you are managing and mitigating risks, and therefore you get that extra payment that usually startups offer. With the guarantee, there is no guarantee, right? 1 year later, you may not have a job. And I think one should be very clear about this, that we're entering on a journey, and make sure that those who are working for you are not going to benefit from the success, all the benefits. They're not all getting ESOPs, right? They're not all getting shares of the company. You are getting the shares of the company. So they don't have to take the uncertainty that you are going through. You may be the great martyr suffering, but at the end of the day, you are the one who's going to make the $1 million. They won't. Your peon won't. Your housekeeping staff won't. Your clerical staff won't. So be aware of this balance that yes, you're giving goods and services to the market, but they are also giving you goods and services in order for you to become the next billionaire. So and so once you understand this ecosystem, you are functioning better. And Dharma is about feeding other people. It's about feeding other people and feeding yourself by feeding other people. I use the word eating and feeding. Most people think business is about extraction. It's about me eating. And you're doing me a favor. Everybody exists so that I'll eat. It's what I call the Bakasura syndrome, where you're like a Bakasura, you're only eating. But really that's not Dharma. Dharma is about feeding people and being fed by them. So it's a cycle. You create this cycle. And I think startups need to remind themselves that they're part of a cyclical ecosystem.
So once you start the business and you're, let's say, 3 years into it, and things change. Your scale changes, employee changes, maybe even the product changes. You have VC money. And now you have complexities. Suddenly what you thought was right and wrong seem different now. What was success and failure seems different now. So the question here is, are the definitions of success and failure or right and wrong fixed, or do they change?
So right and wrong does not exist in business unless you're dealing with ethical and moral issues. Decisions that you're taking have consequences. Every decision has a consequence. And Indian thought looks at the world in in fact in Indian thought they don't even use words like morality and ethics. They just say every action has consequences. You won't get away with things. There are things that people will stand up to you.